Everybody, this is John and welcome to this weekend's free video. And let's take a look at a couple different things here because there's a lot of stuff just going on in this market. So we're going to start off, let's look at the weekly and daily charts of some of the key indexes. This is the Nasdaq, the Qs. And on a weekly chart, this is pretty normal, right? We came down to the 21 period moving average last time and bounced. Last time, after a couple of tests, we bounced. And this time we bounced. The question, though, is, at this point, is this the bounce that leads to new highs, or is this a shortable bounce? Okay, and so there's a couple things that I want to take a look at there. First, just kind of keep in mind that yesterday or Friday, nothing material happened. Nothing changed technically on the daily charts, except let's give it credit where credit's due. We did get back up above the 21 period moving average, and that's a plus in the bull's favor. But the bottom line is that a trend is a trend, and at this point, for me, let's do a new parallel. Okay, I just messed that up. We'll try it again. New parallel. For me, this is essentially my my work area right now. Okay, and if we look at the Qs, we've had a rally to the top of a channel. We've got on Monday, if we kind of start off strong, we've got this level here. And for me, until we get a close above 109.11. Okay, we are in a downtrend on a daily chart. Okay, so we're in an uptrend on a weekly chart, we're in a downtrend on a daily chart. So how do you trade that? Well, if you're going to trade the longer term trend like the weekly chart, then you've got to get options like 8 to 10 weeks out. Although the reality of it is the market, through 2015, I mean, we started here, right? And now we're here. And so buy and hold, essentially you got nothing, right? So I, right now, think it's better to focus on kind of the 2, 3, 4 day swings that we're seeing on the daily charts, okay? Now for the VIX, if we take a look at that real quick, the VIX popped up high, came down, so it kind of took this, kind of took the edge there off the VIX. I'm going to keep an eye on that. If we take a look at the diamonds, they actually had a breakout. Now you had some of the Dow stocks here that were actually pretty key. Of all the indexes right now, the Dow is the most bullish. You've got a daily squeeze with momentum pushed higher and a weekly squeeze. And it's very possible here that we get a divergent market where the Dow makes new highs, but the other markets just kind of drag along. So I'm looking at this, and this is not something that I would, like the Qs, am I going to buy those on Monday? No, they just rallied to the top of the trend line. The diamonds, though, are they poised to break out? Yes. Okay, so that comes down to the stocks that are making up each index. Now, the Russell is in no way, shape, or form. This is, I mean, that's just the biggest rally to resistance I've seen on the planet right now. Okay, so the Russell, that's that's nothing. And then last but not least, let's take a look at the spiders. The spiders here also broke out, and the spiders here look just as good as the Dow. So long story short, spiders in the Dow here look good. Nasdaq is questionable at best, and the Russell is in a is something I would be shorting. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. For a reshorting, in terms of key indicators, one of the reasons that the S&Ps and the Dow are doing so well right now is because the energy sector is holding up, and the energy sector had a good day, 1.47%, and was the second best performing sector on Friday. Okay, so those are the kind of the main things to keep an eye on there. And in terms of other bigger picture stuff, if we just take a look at a couple of key stocks here, so let's take a look at Apple. Apple here, weekly chart looks great. I mean, you can't argue with that. It just needs to digest. The daily chart looks similar to the Nasdaq, right? There's technically still a downtrend there. Or what about Facebook? Facebook there does not look so hot. But then you've got like Netflix that just looks, I mean, that's the best chart out there. So for this kind of market, the thing that I'm going to be focused on, and it's kind of this theme, is that if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy something because it looks better than anything else. Okay, Netflix, selling put credit spreads on Netflix, buying debit spreads on Netflix, looking for a breakout to $610 on Netflix. That all sounds amazing. Okay, but just kind of buying the indexes. Now, my favorite play going into next week is do something bullish on Netflix and something bearish on IWM. It's a nice combination. Essentially, you're establishing a short position, i.e. buying puts on IWM in something that is lagging at best and could potentially roll over and die, and then Netflix, being bullish on Netflix in a position that really doesn't care what the market is doing, okay? All right, so hopefully that all makes sense. Okay, and last but not least, I wanted to show you this. I've had, we just recently did the class in Las Vegas, and where Mark Douglas had a big focus on state of mind, okay? And I had a lot of people asking, like, what are, besides Mark Douglas, what are some other areas or other people that kind of encompass this, from a trading / entrepreneurial standpoint? And honestly, there's not a lot of people out there. I mean, there are, there's a lot of kind of, self-help books and positive thinking books, but they're not written by people who either trade or invest, right? And I think that's kind of the key. So I was asking around, and a guy that I met in one of my, I have 2 mastermind groups that I go to, and in those you just kind of go and exchange ideas with people. And this guy, his name is Dean Graziosi, okay, and I know him and his wife and his kids, and his main business is real estate. He started kind of venturing into stocks, but he's done kind of a life switch over the last couple of years, and he actually has partnered up like with Tony Robbins and has done some stuff like that. And Tony Robbins, he's kind of love him or hate him, right? He's kind of a little cheesy, but at the same time, he's got some interesting things to say. I did not like Tony Robbins' book on finance, by the way. It was just kind of like, that wasn't too helpful for me. But Dean's kind of made a life change approach where he's kind of like, look, I was able, and he owns it's like something like 600 rental houses. I mean, it's something crazy. But he is putting together, it's called the kind of the instant mind switch. And so his whole premise of this is just, hey, discover the instant mind switch that you can flip using 2 secrets that took Dean from trailer park to a life overflowing with wealth, love, peace, and real success. And this is the part where, I mean, he's got the wealth down, but I also, just from a personal perspective, I've seen him with his wife and kids. He puts family first. And he's just got some really interesting thoughts on it. So anyway, you can go to simpleroptions.com/confidence. This is just a free video that you can watch and kind of get more of an insight as to what he does and the kind of stuff that he uses for mental strength and just kind of, that mental switch. You just do your name and your email address and you do that, okay? That's it. I think this video will just kind of automatically go to this too if you're interested. And if you're not, obviously don't sign up, right? And if you are, he does have some interesting things to say. All right, you guys have an awesome trading week, and we'll see you at the next update.